Now it's 7 o'clock, we might as well start. If we could all please rise for a pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everybody. Thanks for coming. First on the agenda tonight is the approval of the August Town Board meeting minutes. Before we do that, any comments from the board? Any questions at all about the August board meeting minutes? If not, can I get a motion and a second to approve August Town Board meeting minutes? Motion by Mr. Valentine, second by Mr. Lang. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Town clerk report.
August receipts totaled $2,672.60, with $1,072.25 going into the general fund. I don't have anything else.
Okay. This is not on your agenda, but next in line was code enforcement. We had neglected that on here, but I wanted to talk about that. Kevin Moore, our new code enforcement officer, gave me a report here. Building permits issued 5. Special use permit application denial was 1. Site plan submittal reviews was 3. Building inspections was 12. C of O's 2. Violations issued 1. Complaints received 7. E-codes 360, there's a Zoom meeting scheduled for September 10th for code review. There was a total of 10 building permit applications in the month of August. 5 applications were approved and permits were issued. 5 applications are pending, waiting on supporting documentation. A stop work order was served on a fill permit issued on November 1st of last year. Wetlands, floodplain, and stream bank corridor area needed to be delineated on the fill permit application, along with all other required information that is missing from that application. Kevin met with the property owner on August 28th at 5:30 p.m. at that location. Town supervisor, being me, and I had a Zoom meeting with the Department of State Oversight Department. The meeting overall went well. Zoning Board of Appeals, no applications for the month of August. Planning Board held a meeting on August 11th at 7 p.m. There was an application from Red Rock RV Park on the agenda. The application was not complete. Fees were not paid. All required information was not supplied by applicant. Next Planning Board meeting is scheduled for October 6th, 2025 at 7 p.m. Assessor is not here tonight. Highway and Water, Dirk is not here tonight.
Can I just ask a question about the code enforcement?
Sure.
Do you know what the complaints were about?
I do not. I guess I would probably direct that to Kevin. He's here quite a bit, actually. So, yeah, I would say if you've got any questions about that, I would probably direct them to Kevin Moore.
Okay.
Justice Court, Vehicle and Traffic, 133. Penal Law, 28. Civil and evictions were 12. Fines collected were $1,146.07. The use of all paid for collecting fines for the court through credit card payments is very helpful. The court receives most payments through using online site or local card swiping in the courtroom. That's something that Mike Christopher initiated, was the all paid, which is working out really well. He's unable to attend the meeting tonight because he's at a 4-day magistrates conference in Niagara Falls, taking more elective classes. County Legislator John Fitzak is not here tonight, nor is Ed Morgan. I will say, if John was here, I was going to ask him a question. We've had some questions about an ongoing municipal shelter inspection report that we've been getting from Ag and Markets over the dog shelter here in Orleans County. For months and months and months, it's been listed as unsatisfactory. Primarily, I guess the reason is multiple kennels have missing grout and chewed and exposed wood around the guillotine doors. That seems to be the reason why it continues to be satisfactory. I was going to ask John tonight if he could look into that to make sure that this is taken care of. But I'll ask him here when I see him next month. Okay. Any public comments as it pertains to any resolution or agenda items tonight? No, not yet. If not, we will go into new business. We are introducing proposed local law number 1 of 2025, which is a New York State Department of Environmental Conservation local law for flood damage prevention. Can I get a motion and a second to introduce that proposed local law number 1?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Mr. Lang, second by Berg. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Second on new business is introducing proposed local law number 2 of 2025, a local law establishing a 12-month moratorium on applications, approvals, and/or construction or installation on solar energy systems and/or solar farms. Can I get a motion and a second for that? Motion by Valentine, second by Berg. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. With those 2 local laws, we have to schedule public hearings on both of those proposed laws, number 1 and 2. With that, can we look at our schedules and actually, can we come up with a date?
We could do it before the next board meeting if you want.
Or if you don't want to do it right now, we can,
Didn't we sort of talk about the 7th of October?
We did.
and the 7th is a Tuesday?
It is a Tuesday. I had the 7th too, that we had,
It's gotta be a month.
Tentatively,
It's got to be 30 days.
okay.
30 days from now.
Yeah. So
Oh,
the
so
next
that
board
won't work.
meeting would be sufficient.
We're looking at the end of October.
28th maybe?
So today's the 15th, so anytime after.
Why can't we just do it the 20th?
We could.
20th, 21st, 27th,
We have a board
28th.
meeting on the 20th.
I
Can
know.
we do it at
That's
the
what I'm
same
saying. Do
time?
it before, and then have the board meeting follow immediately. If you want.
So do a work meeting then?
No, it's just a public
Public
hearing
Public
hearing on
hearing.
the 20th.
at 7 o'clock, and then I'll put in a notice
Yeah.
that
That makes sense to me.
Okay.
the meeting will follow.
Very good.
Date then?
20th?
October 20th.
Yep.
October 20th? What time?
7. Or
7?
if you wanted to do it, 7 o'clock would be probably better.
So October 20th, 2025 at 7 PM. We need a motion on that then?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, motion by Berg,
Second.
second by Lang. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Old business. Anybody have anything to comment on this with respect to old business?
Did you want to schedule? We just get a new one.
Budget.
Do you want to do a budget workshop?
Yeah, we've got to schedule a budget workshop too. It's budget time right now. We have a workshop for the 29th of September.
What time is that? Just so I can put that in the paper.
It's 2 weeks,
I know, what time?
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock in the morning. I know, Scott, you're probably not going to be able to attend.
When
but,
is that?
It's Monday, October 29th, or September 29th, excuse me, at 9 a.m. So we'll be talking to the accountants and board and Dirk, kind of going over all the budget requests for 2026.
Okay.
So can I get a motion and a second to have the budget workshop on Monday, September 29th at 9 a.m.?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Mr. Lang, second by Ms. Berg. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Schedule. Just leave it at that for now, or?
Yeah, I think so.
It was at 9 AM, correct?
It is 9 AM.
Well, when do we have to have
The 5th.
the public hearing?
Well, we have time for that.
Okay. Do we need to schedule another time?
I have submitted all the budget requests to our accountant with the exception of highway and water and the justice court and my own.
One of the board meetings, one of the work meetings.
The work meetings are the 2nd and 4th
We have the
Tuesday.
Have it on
The
the
14th,
have it on the 14th.
but that's when, don't we have,
Well, we've got Monroe County Water Authority coming in on the 14th, which is another thing that I wanted to discuss.
In the evening, or?
yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
5:30.
5:30.
Yep,
Could do
5:30.
it, can we do it before that?
I don't care how.
Good.
What time do you,
I can do it anytime. I mean, I know Scott, that's gonna
we'll
probably
probably
jam
need
you.
more than one budget workshop, correct?
But if you have it this, I'm sorry, I know I keep asking this. What are the work meetings?
The 2nd and 4th Tuesday of the month at 5:30.
So you could do it on the 28th. You could do another one on the 28th.
Good?
Is that enough time?
I don't know, I think it's pushing it. Let me just see how you guys make out on the.
But we need 10 days notice, correct?
Well, we'll wrangle that out here later. I don't think we have to do it exactly now, but we know when our next meeting is gonna be, so we're good. Okay. Which actually brings me to another point. We had, Elaine and I met with the Village of Albion today. The Village of Albion is in financial straits. And to be quite blunt, I think they're going to try to balance their budget on the backs of water users and water purchasers in this county. So they came in this morning, Levi Boyer from the village and Joyce Riley, the deputy mayor, and gave us kind of what their proposal is going to be for the next 3 years. And basically to our municipality would be a 25% jump next year, a 20% jump the year after, and a 5% jump the year after that. So basically a 50% jump in the rate per thousand over the next 3 years. Which gets us thinking about what are we going to do about it as a town. As you know, we do purchase water from Albion. We purchase a small portion from Monroe County Water Authority right now. We purchase much more water from Albion because, quite frankly, it's cheaper. But if they keep going like they're going, there may be a case where Monroe County is going to end up being cheaper than Albion. So I have personally been doing a lot of soul searching over our water system here in the town of Murray. And as much as I would like to keep it here in the town of Murray, I'm starting to lean more and more towards considering having Monroe County Water Authority take over our water system. In my mind, there's so many advantages to doing that. Not only lower rates, our highway department would no longer have to deal with the billing issue, which is a monumental task. It's 17 different districts, different rates, different suppliers, different, purchasers. The maintenance of our system, which is 60-some miles of public water line. As hard as our guys work on trying to maintain it, in my opinion, I believe that it's starting to become unwieldy. I feel as though the highway department is more reactive than proactive on maintaining the water system. And by that I mean, and this is no offense to them, but there's a lot of things going on in the town that need attention. And when you've got one highway superintendent and 3 guys, it's tough to do all the things that you do in a town and maintain a water system the size of ours the way it should be maintained. Personally, I feel like, and we had Tony Camerata come in last week from the town of Kendall, they did enter into a 40-year agreement with Monroe County Water Authority, and they have been nothing but happy about that agreement because it's cheaper water. They don't have to deal with the billing. Monroe County does all of that, and they don't have to deal with the maintenance. If there's a water main break, our guys aren't doing it, their guys are doing it. So I see arguments on both sides, but I personally feel like everybody around us is up in rates. And it's just right now a matter of who can give us water at a cheaper and more effective price. So I'll leave it at that for now, but we will be meeting with Monroe County Water Authority here in the middle of October. Their engineers are going to be coming out, talking to us about offering up water to our entire town as a wholesale buyer. Right now, we're just a supplemental buyer, so we pay $4.63 a thousand, which is more than what we're paying Albion right now. But again, Albion with their water rate increases, it's going to be creeping up, and I think at some point in time, it's going to be more than what Monroe's charging. So we're not making any rash decisions. The board's going to listen to everybody, and at some point in time, the public's going to be able to listen as well and offer their comments and their opinions about it, and we'll come to a consensus on it, I guess. So with that, for a little over a year now, I've been really kind of disappointed in our highway department for a number of reasons. We're small. There's a lot of stuff going on, and I personally feel like there's things that aren't getting the proper attention. For example, we've had a couple complaints recently about the cemetery in Hubbardton. Not the one by my house between Powerline and 31, but the one that's across the street from St. Rocco's. I decided to personally go out there and take a look at it for myself, and I was stunned at how bad a shape that cemetery is in. The weeds were 7 to 8 foot tall. I wouldn't even call them weeds, I'd almost call them trees. The cemetery was in total disarray. And if you've been around in the town of Murray for any length of time, you know that we jumped through a lot of hoops to get an access road back to that cemetery to maintain it. That right-of-way is actually on somebody else's property. So we made it a point to provide access to it, so let's maintain it. And unfortunately, as much as I hate to say it, members of this board went out there ourselves to start cleaning it up because for some reason, the highway department hasn't been able to do it. So that's a little bit disconcerting. I talked to Dirk last year about putting a town of Murray on his truck. In writing, I sent him something about putting the town of Murray on his truck because I believe that that truck should be transparent. And I understand that the town of Murray is on the license plate, but I feel like there should be a town of Murray insignia on both sides of that truck. Not trying to be a jerk, just trying to be transparent. I just feel like it's important to have that truck be known. Not because I suspect he's doing anything nefarious, I just feel like it should be marked. It wasn't done last year. I talked to him again earlier this year in person. He told me he'd have it done, and now here we are in the middle of September, and it's still not done. So, not really happy about it. I wish he would get to it and get it done, but it doesn't seem to be a priority. Last month, we had a voucher for $300 to have an annual water quality report produced. We pay Dirk another $12,000 a year as our highway superintendent to manage the water system. So it's my feeling that our highway superintendent should do the annual water quality report that's required every year. That didn't happen. He hired a former clerk in the highway department to come in, and we paid her $300 to produce this annual water quality report. I don't know why she came in to do it. I don't know if it was because Dirk couldn't do it, or if he didn't want to do it. But, you know, $300 doesn't seem like a lot of money, and it probably isn't in the grand scheme of things, but all in all, I feel like if we're paying our highway superintendent another $12,000 a year to maintain our water system, I feel like that water quality report is part of his job. Plain and simple. Back in June, we had somebody that knocked down the bollards behind the building here. They ran them over. Those bollards surround the fire hydrant back here. That was on June 11th. We put a claim in to the gentleman's insurance company, Allstate, and they said just basically give us an estimate of what the damages are and we'll take care of it. I'm still waiting for an estimate of damages. Now, it wasn't a big deal. I mean, the bollards got knocked over. There's going to be some time and some money spent to repair it. But I have a claim number waiting for an estimate from Highway as to how much it's going to cost to repair it. And this was June 11th, and I don't have anything. So that was 3 months ago. Back in July, we had a small fire behind the building here. Don't know how it started. I suspect it was a stray cigarette butt, but I can't prove that. It got close to the back of the building. I think it probably ignited some of the mulch that was behind the building and smoldered for 36 hours. From Wednesday night after court to probably Friday morning, about 2 o'clock in the morning, it smoldered. I got video of the smoke. It's unbelievable that it sat there for a day and a half and didn't burn our building down. To Dirk's credit, he cleaned it up. He made sure that the mulch was spread out and kind of raked it back and made sure that there wasn't any further issues. But for 10 days, the siding that he took off and some boards with nails were left out right outside the door here. So that's what sat there for 10 days. Now, if anybody's walking down that sidewalk, you got a nail sticking up out of that board, I mean, it's town property. Why didn't it get picked up? I don't understand why it sat there for 10 days. Just clean it up. I don't know if the board's got any comments at all, anything you'd like to share, but I just, I've tried to be understanding as much as I possibly can, but people don't understand that as a supervisor, I don't really have any control over the highway department. That's Dirk's department. He's an elected official. He can hire, he can fire. The only control that we have as a board is over his benefits and his pay and what he purchases throughout the course of the year. That's about it. So I hope things change. I'd like to have a good relationship with the highway department. I'd like things to get done in a timely fashion. I took a ride up to Creek Road today. Thank God that's close to being done. They put blacktop down. They were rolling it today, and I would expect that project's going to be done here hopefully within a week, because it's been since last year that road's been closed. So my hope is that it's open soon.
Do we have a timeline for the parking lot, or we don't know that?
Parking lot's another issue. As you know, we dedicated almost $160,000 of our ARPA money, our American Rescue Plan money, towards the redoing of our parking lot. I did reach out to Rob Sweeting, who's supposed to be doing the work, and I asked him straight up, can you get us in this year? Because we're already in the middle of September. His comment to me was, yes, I can get you guys in. I said, when would be your last week of doing this project? And he said, I probably wouldn't go any further than the middle of October. Because once you get to the middle of October, all bets are off. You don't know what the weather's going to be like. Who knows what it's going to be like before the middle of October? But I know Dirk is working on the fuel pumps out here on the south side of the building and trying to do the concrete work around that. I know he wants to do that before he does the blacktop work, but it sounds like he's still assuring me that it's going to get done. So my hope is that it gets done in the next month, because we're running out of time, in my opinion. And it needs to get done. Water District 17, that project won't be started until next year. So we're still doing paperwork and legal stuff on that. But again, if the board wants to comment on anything that I've just said, feel free. But I've kind of sat on this for a long time, and I just feel like it's time to kind of get some stuff out. I just wish that things would get done more efficiently. So I'll leave it at that.
I think it would be helpful to have a water loss report, which we've asked for since last year, to understand where we stand.
We have asked for a water loss report. I think that would actually help us make a better decision about whether we want to change with Monroe.
I think we have to have it before we make that decision.
I couldn't tell you if we're making money on our water in this township or not. I really couldn't. And that bothers me, because if we're not making money and it's just going down the drain, what are we doing? We had a major issue here on District 1 from Bennis Corners Road out to the canal over by Sam's 2. We went from 163,000 gallons in one billing cycle to over 1 million gallons in a billing cycle. And what does that tell you? I think now recently it was 2 million gallons, right?
Over.
And that's my point. As a water superintendent, you have to be able to identify how much water each district goes through every billing cycle. You have an idea what they use in the wintertime, you got a roundabout idea what they use in the summertime. If you start seeing things 5 times more than what they normally are, you better get out there and you better start listening for leaks, or you better get somebody out there that can find these leaks, because if not, that water's going down the drain. And guess who's paying for it? We're paying for it. Which is another reason why I'm leaning even more heavily towards having another entity manage our water system, because I'm not quite sure our guys, as hard as they are trying on this, I'm not quite sure that we have the manpower to get it done the right way. So, gonna be some hard decisions, but it is what it is. Anything else? Can I get a motion and a second to pay the bills and approve the supervisor's financial report?
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Lang, second by Valentine. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. And with that, can I get a motion and a second to adjourn?
The motion?
Motion by Berg,
Second.
second by Lang. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.